Detroit PBS and 90.9 WRCJ are marking a major milestone in the campaign for the new Fred and Barbara Erb Public Media Campus in Detroit. 2 years ago, here at the Mackinac Policy Conference, the Fred and Barbara Erb Family Foundation announced a $7.5 million challenge grant to help launch the effort. Today, Detroit PBS has announced that challenge has been met a full year ahead of schedule. It is a significant step forward in the organization's $40 million campaign to build a new public media campus in Detroit's Milwaukee Junction neighborhood. The new campus is designed to bring Detroit PBS and 90.9 WRCJ together under one roof for the first time, while expanding space for journalism, education, arts and culture, and community engagement.
For over 70 years, Detroit PBS has served millions of people who call this region home. Now, we're moving to the heart of the city, to a new campus at 234 Paquette. In 2024, the Fred and Barbara Erb Family Foundation issued a matching $7.5 million challenge grant we met a year ahead of schedule. And thanks to the generous support of the Erb Family Foundation, numerous other foundations, and donors like you, we have reached 70% of our goal. We need your help to bridge the gap.
I think in a lot of ways, Wayne County is probably the most diverse county in the state of Michigan. We're an awful lot of people of all ethnicities throughout the county. We kind of talk about it as 43 different and unique communities. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity for public television to touch those different communities.
Detroit PBS and 90.9 WRCJ have been serving Detroit for decades. Detroit PBS has always told stories that matter: fact-based public affairs, environmental journalism, educational programming, and arts and culture. And 90.9 WRCJ provides the calm in your commute and the swing in your evening. We carry the programs that matter to you and follow the stories that impact our community. But this move isn't about a building, it's about what becomes possible inside it.
I've always been in search of an engagement center because we viewed the new space to be a place where the community could come in and partake our services, and also be a place where public events would be easily accessed and welcomed.
A production hub, a center for education, a community gathering space, a venue for arts and culture, a trusted place for essential conversations.
You know, it's one thing to build a factory and offer jobs. It's another thing to have people that want to be in that community, want to live in those communities. You know, now you're starting to build something that is sustainable, and public television can really help.
The Erb family has been part of the Detroit PBS story for more than 50 years. From helping guide the station into its first Detroit studio to issuing the challenge to build the new Fred and Barbara Erb Public Media Campus.
My father was on the first community board and served for around a decade. And while my dad was serving on that board, he and another board member were instrumental in encouraged to move into the facility in Detroit that was a prior station.
The foundation for everything we want to be is here. It's an extraordinary structure in a very important location that's about as accessible as any building we would ever come upon. Great shell that we can build into, great location, almost perfect location.
And now, together, we can imagine what comes next. Completing the construction of the Fred and Barbara Erb Public Media Campus. With your participation, we will imagine the possibilities.
Joining me now are Melissa Damaschke, president of the Fred and Barbara Erb Family Foundation, and Rich Homberg, president and CEO of Detroit PBS and 90.9 WRCJ. Thank you both for being here.
So good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Congratulations. This is big news yet again. Rich, 2 years ago, here we were at the Mackinac Policy Conference announcing this $7.5 million challenge grant. Today you are back, having completed that challenge a full year ahead of schedule. What does that say to you about the level of confidence people currently have in Detroit PBS and public media?
I think everything that has occurred in our organization over the last 2 years speaks to the love people have for public media and Detroit PBS and what we've developed over the years. The reaction we've gotten around what we're calling Challenge Met, Challenge Next. So we've got work to do. We've got a future to build and a campaign to finish. But as we stepped up to the community and said, help us, we have built an organization that serves Detroit like never before. We're sort of the last man standing, if you will, locally owned, locally governed, locally committed media outlet, and that's critical. But the wonderful part, the very gratifying part, is the reaction from the community. People really want to help. And we have gotten these wonderful phone calls, these wonderful moments where people are like, we need you, and we're going to step up, and our family will do this. And that, I think, played into exactly the idea of a challenge grant to say to the community, we have a commitment for $7.5 million from a very important organization that's been involved with Detroit PBS for 60 plus years. Just an amazing organization. Help us. And so that exactly what Melissa and the Erb organization has designed worked. And so it's been very gratifying.
Yeah. Melissa, challenge grants are designed to test momentum, right, as much as to create it. From a philanthropic perspective, does meeting a challenge grant ahead of schedule change how other donations and institutions view a project like this?
I think it's seen as the proof of concept, and it really gives a lot of confidence to donors and future donors that this is something exciting. And as you said earlier, Rich, people do want to help. Detroit PBS provides such a wonderful service for our community, and a number of folks want to help. And so we were glad that we could be part of this and issue that challenge grant, and so excited to be here today, knowing that it has been met.
It's so, to me, Erb, if you will, John and the family. There's a certain sense of, I like what you're doing. We're willing to work and help. But we're going to give you a challenge. And so what that says is, we like where you're going now. You need to be completely invested. And I think that tone, positive, but okay, let's get going, folks. And so it was a signature win for the station. And completing it a year ahead of time is a signature win as well.
Rich, you alluded to this, but look, public media nationally is facing enormous pressure right now, financially, politically, structurally. Why make a major investment in physical public media infrastructure right now?
Because what we discovered along the way is media has changed quite a bit. And the idea of a studio, and we make shows and you watch, have developed into an engagement process and how you bring the community into it. So imagine an organization that builds a new headquarters at the corner of 75 and 94. Maybe the population center, we kid folks, it's about 8 minutes from Grosse Pointe. It's about 22 minutes from Livonia, and this super accessible building, because the media business has changed, and really what it is a media partnership with the community. So we literally are saying to folks, come to our place and we can capture everything we're talking about and further it. How do we do all of this in collaboration with the community? And that's exactly what the building stands for.
Yeah. Melissa, as the Erb Family Foundation sunsets, you've had a really disciplined approach to spending down. What's been your philosophy as the organization is working on that?
Yeah, so from the very beginning, what we did is we really learned more about Fred and Barbara's values. And we also had many interviews with people who knew Fred and Barbara to really learn who they were. And that's where we learned about how much they cared about Detroit PBS. Fred Erb was on the board. It was one of the only 2 nonprofit organizations that he served on the board of. We learned about how much Barbara really cared about Detroit PBS as well. And so, this challenge grant really meant a lot to us, because we knew it meant a lot to Fred and Barbara. And that's what we're thinking about as we continue to spend down what are the things that really matter to them. Our other grant making continues to focus on Great Lakes, sustainable business, arts and culture, Alzheimer's research, and now the legacy grants, and of course democracy as well.
And who better but the Erb? I think jazz, democracy, environment, right? The work they've done at the zoo, The values are similar, so are the issues of concern to the organization. Very important.
And as you mentioned, we're a spend down. So we know we have a limited life now. And so in our spend down, we're not only thinking about what really honors the values of Fred and Barbara and their legacy, but also how do we help strengthen organizations so that they outlast us when we're gone.
Yeah. Well, let's start where we began, which is here at Mackinac. 2 years ago, this was an idea and a challenge. Today, it's becoming real. What's the biggest thing each of you has learned over the last 2 years about what this community wants from public media and nonprofits moving forward? Melissa, I'll start with you.
Yeah, a lot has changed in the last 2 years. Some good changes, but there's been a lot of stress on nonprofit organizations as well. And I think what we've learned is how important nonprofit organizations like Detroit PBS are really important for us to have sustainable, thriving communities that we can participate in. So. Yeah, a lot has changed, and I just want to also say, I know that this is the first step, or one of the many steps, but I just want to congratulate you again, because it was a big step, and a lot of work from your team and yourself went behind it, and so thank you.
The people behind these cameras have made this happen. What they've built is just extraordinary. But part of what we've learned, so we're the nonprofit public media outlet that serves Detroit, and when you talk to Detroiters, they want a stake in that. They want to be heard. People come to us for things that are important to them, getting their kids ready for school and life, understanding issues of the environment, sustainable arts and culture support, right? All of that plays into the appreciation they have of the station. But again, the challenge of meeting Detroit's standard. And what we've discovered is the more we talk to Detroit, the more we engage Detroit, the more the opportunities arise for us to really partner with Detroit. We're very excited about a project called Destination Detroit around gathering Detroit's history. Everybody in Detroit loves to tell their story. Let's capture it and bring the community together. And so
you're excited about that project, excited about the new building. Tell me what you're excited about once you get to actually get into this new building, right? I mean, it's been years in the making. When you're able to actually set foot in it, what would that be like?
Well, our entire staff will be in one building. That's very helpful, right? And it's 50,000 square feet with 120 parking spots right outside. And to turn to a community organization saying, come to our place. We'll set up in a studio, we'll capture the conversation to make this very organic, right? And that idea of super accessible, so a great location, great building, and totally plumbed to be able to capture the most important stories in Detroit. You know about TMICIA, right?
Of course, the most important city in America.
That's exactly right. If you want to understand this country, come to Detroit. If you want to help us gather that story, come to Detroit PBS. That's exciting.
Melissa, we're talking about pillars, democracy, environment, but here we are talking about a building. What has that meant to you to be able to watch this happen and, actually the structures of this grant?
Well, I think what's exciting is to see Detroit PBS move back to Detroit, the heart of Michigan. And so I think that's exciting. I look forward to the conversations that will take place. That's what we need right now. We just added this program area about democracy, and at the heart of it is about civic participation. How do we engage in our communities? And, that's voting, but it's also having these conversations where we can talk to one another, we can learn about one another, we can learn about our communities and how to better participate. So this space is going to create that.
So the Erb family is always wonderfully pleasant and positive, and underneath that, in their family, but also with this staff, is great detail and precision. These are the nicest people you've ever met, but they also know what they're doing, and they have standards. And meeting the Erb standard was part of meeting the challenge. And so they've just been spectacular to deal with.
It's obviously been a really great, fruitful partnership, and one that's going to continue. Melissa, Rich, thank you so much, and congratulations again.